see this especially in the business world. And if you work any kind of corporate job, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Society rewards specialization in terms of getting a job, in terms of filling out your resume. You need to talk about your work experience. You need to have like 5 to 7 years in a certain area. Like if you're a salesperson, you need to have like 5 to 7 years in that area. You need to be really good at one thing. Or if you're an engineer, you need to have dedicated specialty even within that. Business rewards you for niching down and for specializing. But while this is good for the company, it's not good for you, the individual. Why? Because society rewards specialization because it creates efficient and effective workers. But efficient workers are easier to control, they're easier to replace, and they're easier to trap in certain positions. So if you are someone who values freedom and independence and a full life and options, then the more skills you have, the more freedom you have. If you can do sales, if you can do marketing, if you can build products, if you can create something from scratch and also refine something, if you're good at communicating, if you can manage people, if you can do deep work and focus, and you can have a disciplined schedule, but sometimes you also like to free think and free associate and brainstorm and be creative. If you can do a bit of all of this stuff, you effectively are no longer dependent on the system. You have more options. And this is something that every employer is afraid of, because they want you to be dependent on them, on their system. This isn't true in every business. It's not as true in like if you're working for a startup, say. But if you're working in some kind of corporate job, then this is extremely prevalent, and I have no doubt that you've experienced this in your time working at those kind of jobs. There are some counterexamples, and if we want to start thinking about, okay, how can I be specialized and stand out without trapping myself in a certain position, then you can do what a lot of the Silicon Valley companies do, like Google, for example. They went in their hiring process, they're looking for T-shaped people. T-shaped people, these are people who are generalists, but they have a specialty. So they know a bit about finance, they know a bit about marketing, they know a bit about software and coding. Maybe they took a course one semester at university or whatever, but they're really, really good at sales. And that's how you can be most powerful. That is how you can have the most freedom while still maximizing your choices and your options in the job market. You need to be T-shaped. You need to have one thing you're really, really good at, and then be decent at a wide array of things. And ideally, you pick things that are complementary. So, if you're good at sales, you should learn marketing. If you're good at sales, you should learn leadership and management and customer success, coaching. These are all things that will help you be a better salesperson, and they'll make you more adaptable, so that in a situation where the economy is bad and they have to do layoffs, you're maneuverable, you're adaptable. So that's really, really, really important. But more than that, more than just making yourself appeal to employers, it gives you the independence that one day, should you wish to, you can go and start your own thing. You can partner with someone else who's also T-shaped, and your T's can fit together like some kind of weird puzzle. And that's how great things are started. That's how great things are made. It is the unification of two generalists who together build something that two specialists could have never done. You need 20 specialists to build something from scratch, but really you only need 1 or 2 generalists to start something new. So if you want some sovereignty over your life, you got to stop thinking about trying to get really good at one particular skill, and you got to start thinking about how can you be T-shaped? How can you survive and be self-sustainable? How can you adapt? how can you gain knowledge across a wide degree of domains. And if you do that, you'll find that your options increase, your freedoms increase, and you'll just have a better time in life.